If you're here today, it's because you're coming across the all too familiar problem of styling shelves. But with a few simple tricks, you can take your shelves from boring and blah to this, a balanced approach to interior design using very basic principles that you can use in your own home today. I'm going to walk you through my step-by-step process as an interior designer here on the west coast of British Columbia. Behind me is a very common arrangement within any residential home. A beautiful fireplace in the center of a living room with flanking bookcases on either side. No, it's not going to look like this when we're done. Although your shelves may look like this if they feel disheveled and disorganized and not at all designerly. All of the items on the shelves currently are those that we are going to tweak to make the magic happen. All of the items we have at our disposal today are very common household items. You can purchase items like this pretty much anywhere. Go to HomeSense or Walmart or Amazon.com. There are pieces like this available at your fingertips. So although the look may be luxe, this is a very budget-friendly approach that anybody can take within their home. What I'm going to begin by doing is actually removing all of the items and laying it out on the floor so we can get a better grasp at what we're working with. From there, I'll be able to integrate all of the objects together thoughtfully, keeping in mind various aspects of interior design theory that we can implement, such as scale and color and texture, bringing it all together into one cohesive look. Now that we have all of the objects out in front of us so we can take a glance at everything as a whole, I'm already noticing familiar patterns. There is a sense of antiquity with these solid brass touches and pieces of history from family heirlooms. We're also seeing beautiful touches of soft, creamy whites in various accessories like these birds and different vases. There are wonderful hits of texture as seen in this beautiful little crystal dish or leather boxes. And last but not least, I'm seeing beautiful hits of subtle color. A soft celadon green keeps repeating itself as seen here in this quartzite bowl and this beautiful vase, as well as this creamy vase. When we see commonality in different objects, such as the color and the texture, what we're going to do is use space on these different shelves to spread those elements out so that your eye connects all of them together. That way, no shelf feels like it's an isolated island, and they're all speaking as one single design element, even though, as you can see, there are like 50 different objects here. Before we start putting items on the shelves themselves, we want to pay attention to details that are telling us about the space itself. As you can see, this living room is a beautiful shade of creamy white. But there are also elements that are at play here that will impact how we interdisperse different elements such as black. The fireplace and the TV are the huge elephant in the room that nobody can really get around. Yes, there are televisions that can disappear as art, but if you are fancy with your design techniques, as I'm going to show you in these next tips and tricks, you are going to be able to make your TV look like it belongs there from the start. One tip that I'm going to share right from the start is to take aspects that are happening and swap them. For example, the top of this creamy side table is a mirrored surface. We have a beautiful little mirrored box over there that would look really stunning if offset from this mirrored coffee table, whereas this side chair has a really nubby textured surface. We also have a really beautiful cream oversized pottery vase that would look stunning offset from this cream chair over on this side. I'm going to start with the largest items first. We're going to put them in an arrangement where they don't start to feel too heavy, placing them scattered throughout the space, and that way we have some good bones to start from. I love this sculptural piece. Not only is it a beautiful hit of color, but it also speaks volumes to our coastal lifestyle. Although it is large in scale, it is very light in form. And with that, I can get away with putting it up a little bit higher without it feeling like it's too weighty on top. Now for this beautiful textured vase I was speaking of, I'm going to offset it from the large vase by placing it to the side. Also giving it a little bit of space with a shelf in between the larger items is a great move. I want this side to feel balanced, so I'm going to add something heavy to the top of this bookcase. And an added benefit is that this metal texture detail is also mirrored in the side table here, bringing your eye up and making the space feel bigger. Something about this just wants to be in the middle. I'm going to mirror color seen in this vase over here over into the other side with this beautiful cream vase, also leaving a space in between the larger items. Now that vase is already feeling a little bit lonely. I feel like it needs a little sprucing up. So what we're going to use are a couple of our design books to lift it and add a hit of color. Yeah, these two. This zigzag approach that I'm implementing here is working really well for us. As you can see, I've grabbed a couple more books to balance out this side over here, but also mirrored the color of the binding in the book so that it's giving some continuity between each side. What I'm noticing now is that this bright hit of blue in this beautiful vase needs something to balance it in the bottom corner. I'm going to achieve that look with more books. This really isn't rocket science. All I'm doing is going back and forth and mirroring what I'm doing on each side. We are still in large and medium scaled objects. If you start with the smaller items, you're going to be a lost goose. There's really no hope for you. But by starting with larger pieces, it gives you something to work off of. It also secures all of the elements that we need to out of the gate, like the elements at play in this particular placement where I'm taking the cream from the other side and mirroring it over here. Another really important aspect to pay attention to is shape. Here we've established this large circular vase on this side, so I'm going to duplicate that shape over onto the other side. Now this vase holds a bunch of really beautiful little trinkets, so I want to place it low enough so that you're actually able to enjoy what's inside of it. Next, we have an arrangement of boxes. These beautiful long linear leather ones are coming up next. And here is something that you don't generally want to repeat. Up on this top shelf, we have a vase that's really long and linear, not too dissimilar from the shape and size of this object. So by placing this directly underneath, they become a competing value. Instead, what we're going to do is take this shape and pop it to the other side. Here you can see that rectangle forms are repeating themselves, but they're also doing that zigzag pattern within a single shelf itself. We have a nice beautiful box, we have a stack of books, and we have another stack of boxes. I'm going to duplicate the boxes from that side over here. Feels like it needs to joggle just a bit. Next, we're going to move on to picture frames because they need some space to physically stand on a shelf or a set of books. And because of this space requirement, it's important that we establish where they're going to go before we put smaller round objects in front of them. Last but not least, we have these round objects. This is where a less is more approach will take you a long way. Just because you have it and you love it doesn't mean you need to present it to the living room. We are going to take it easy, one object at a time, because even myself, I tend to go overboard. To simplify the steps down, all we did was start with the larger items first. Then we took elements from each of those larger items and mirrored it into the opposite side. From there, we worked on medium scale objects, balancing out the holes in between the larger ones, moving on to picture frames that need a steady place to land, and last but not least, working on all those little trinkets without going overboard. There are a lot of items that we didn't use today, and that is perfectly okay. Not only does it allow you to change things out seasonally, it also allows you to really appreciate the items on the shelf. When you give something appropriate real estate, it gives your eye space to wander around it. Instead of filling every single shelf, here we've taken items that we really cherish and given them the space to breathe. I would say it's safe to say if you're looking at what you've done on your shelf so far and it feels like too much, it most likely is. And the easiest place to start is by paring back. And if that seems too daunting, do what I've done here with you today. Take all the items off the shelf, lay them out on the floor so you can take a good look at everything, and then work through the phases one by one. If this video has been helpful, there are plenty more on my channel. Your support means the world to me. You can also go check me out on Instagram at Paige Gray Studios. That's where I share my life, the ongoings of my interior design studio here in British Columbia, and everything in between. Real life, real spaces, a real mom amidst the real chaos. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go watch this next video together.